Denver Broncos are moving closer to being sold after a ruling yesterday that dated back to the 1984 agreement in which Edgar Kaiser sold the team to Pat Bowlen. There was a right of first refusal that was in that agreement that basically gave Kaiser the option of matching any offer that Pat Bowlen would have to sell the team. That came up years ago when Bowlen was going to sell a chunk of the team to John Elway. There was litigation then from Edgar Kaiser. It wasn't successful. Now it's the estate of Edgar Kaiser against the estate of Pat Bowlen, and they tried to assert a right of first refusal that would have complicated, to say the least, an effort to sell the team now. That lawsuit resulted in a finding yesterday that the right of first refusal is dead. It's gone. Appeal rights still exist, but there's a sense of confidence in the organization that they're going to be able to move forward unfettered in an effort to sell the team. And that's where they are. You know, we've been dealing with, for years now, a group of trustees, 3 of them, that run the Broncos. This was planned by Pat Bowlen. He was battling Alzheimer's. He got to a point where he's no longer going to be able to actually run the team. So he had trustees take over, and the ultimate mission of the trustees was to determine which of Pat Bowlen's 7 children would be best suited to be the one who runs the team. But the problem is all of them had to be on board with it. That was the factor that was never really publicized early on. If you can't get them all on board with the selection and you don't have the ability or the desire to buy out and they don't want to sell out to family members, you got to just throw your hands in the air and sell the team. And that's where we are after all these years. And it's amazing that the Broncos haven't been forced sooner by the league to sell the team, because the league likes to have one person who's in charge, one person who casts votes, one person who is clearly and firmly the owner of the team. And I think the league's getting to the point where it ran out of patience for this situation resulted in what we're going to have, Chris. As soon as they hire a coach, we're going to hear that the Broncos are for sale. Now, that feels a little backward, but they got to hire a coach, because it's not like you can sell the team like a car. Somebody's going to walk in and write you a check and drive it off the lot. It takes time to sell an asset of that magnitude. So they want to get the coach in place, get a good coach in place, and then the team is for sale. If you happen to have $4 or $5 billion laying around, you can buy the Denver Broncos.
Yeah, just some extra change in the cushion of the couch, no problem. But that's where they are right now. You know, you hire a good coach. Of course, that makes it a prettier situation that maybe somebody can financially get behind. But you talk about it all the time, Mike. I mean, ownership's a real thing. I mean, again, I don't think it's like, totally, off the rails to think the fact that when Mr. Bowlen and, the Alzheimer started to take over and those issues came about, we saw the organization start to take kind of a downward turn to a degree. I can speak specifically to being there in Denver, and again, that presence of the owner in the building, like you've talked about so much, where Mr. Bowlen had just the right touch. And I don't think that was, I don't think it was a coincidence that they were good for so long, because, he knew people. He was around the building. I'd come out of the locker room after practice and, hey, we got to get ready. And there's Mr. Bowlen, he's in the cafeteria sitting there. Hey, come over, sit down.
Hide the weed, the owner's here. Hide the weed, the owner's here.
Right. But he, so there he was. He's walking around the building, but that presence is real. And, it's a shame that it's come to this point for the Bowlen family. But, something's got to be done there, again, just to get, organization, leadership, everything going in the right direction.
We should have seen it, though. And I didn't understand the nuances of, I thought the trustees had the power and the ability to pick one of the 7 kids, regardless of what the other 6 thought. Like it was this weird intra-family Willy Wonka competition where one of them is going to float away in the chocolate river, the other one's going to turn into a big blueberry, right? And eventually there's going to be one left that hands back the everlasting gobstopper and passes the test and wins the team. The problem is the others had to be on board with it. And when you have multiple kids from first wife, multiple kids from second wife, there's going to be inherent friction.
Definitely.
And tension.
Definitely.
And resentment and dysfunction. This was never going to work. It was never, ever going to work. They should have just sold it from the get-go. But the best news is the asset continued to appreciate and appreciate and appreciate, and they're going to get, the 7 kids when they sell this team. They're gonna have a nice little chunk of money.
We won't be crying for them.
Their lives.
No, we won't be crying.
No bake sales necessary for the Bolin children after they sell this team and carve it up 7 ways. That's for damn sure.
No.
But that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And hey, they need a coach. They need a quarterback. They need an owner. Other than that, they're fine. But it's true. Other than that, they're fine.
Yeah.
They've got a good team that's been put together.
Yeah.
They got a great general manager in George Payton. You probably got some regret in Minnesota that they didn't decide last year, let's make our change now and let's make George Payton our general manager. I mean, he'd been around for a long time. He's slowly and gradually learned the ropes, and they make the right coaching hire. They get a quarterback that can help be the difference, and they're going to be a contender. Even though they're in a tough division with the Chargers and the Chiefs and the Raiders, that could be a very interesting team and a very attractive asset.
I think that's what it is. Yeah.
But I will say this.
Right.
Whoever buys the team, move your base of operations to Denver and be there every day.
Yeah.
Even if you're not meddling, be there every day. Be like Mr. Bolin and be around. You're going to get more out of your team. Don't buy. See, that's the thing. This shouldn't be a vanity play by somebody who has more money than they know what to do with.
Yeah, right.
Right?
Right.
It shouldn't be something you just buy like a yacht that you get on it once every 3 months. You need to have passion.
No doubt. That's what it is.
For the team.
Yeah.
Whether it's a team that you already follow and have passion for, or you develop that passion once you write the check for $4 billion to buy it, you need to go all in if you're going to do this. You need to be at a point in your life, just like, with Bezos and his Rockets. If Bezos buys the team, put the Rockets away,
right,
and the Broncos become your passion and your focus. If you're not ready to do that, don't buy the Denver Broncos.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I mean, you're not going to get a successful organization doing it the other way. That's for sure. And yeah, it's amazing. I feel for the Bolin family. They had that passion. The family had the passion. They really did to be that. Now, you said it right. It's just too many. So they can't decide who's the guy that's in power or who's the woman that's in power. They just can't. But they all love it. I've met, I think, the majority of the children, and it's the crown jewel of that family, the Denver Broncos. But, yes, you need an owner like that. It's one of the great franchises in all of football. I mean, come on. Great stadium, downtown Denver. I mean, they got a great fan base. It's passionate. They sell that stadium out easily. I mean, it's got a lot of the things you need to be successful. Good facility that's just been updated there, not far from the stadium. And then you talk about what's on the field. Yeah, there's like a lot to like. Listen, there's a reason we heard names like Aaron Rodgers to Denver Broncos last year in the offseason. Because like we've seen with Peyton Manning or Tom Brady, he was evaluating teams thinking he might get traded from the Green Bay Packers, and he was going, wait, that team right there has got some talent on it, and we could turn it around in a hurry. I mean, receivers, they got star receivers, they got tight ends, the offensive line's on the up and up. They got that. Running back, good. Quarterback's the only thing they're missing on the offensive side of the ball. Defensive side of the ball, you got Bradley Chubb, some other good linebackers and defensive linemen to go along with it. You got a superstar corner. Got a superstar safety in Simmons. So there is. It's an organization and a team that's not far off. And this will be a big offseason to see who they hire as a head coach and just sprinkle a few extra players on this roster. And I'm with you, Mike. They can be a contender next year. There's no doubt. We've seen it. What do we got? 7 new teams in the playoffs this year? I mean, Denver could be one of those new teams next year. They're not that far.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.